Good morning, kings and queens, gentlemen and ladies. Why is it so hard to prove emotional abuse or psychological abuse to law enforcement? But it's fairly easy, it seems like, to prove physical abuse. And when we can't prove emotional abuse or psychological abuse, it's like we're left to suffer in silence. But they seem to take swift action on physical abuse. I'm just trying to wrap my head around that. Or verbal abuse. It's almost like no action whatsoever is taken if we were to contact law enforcement about verbal abuse. But if we call about physical abuse, in most cases, it seems as if action is taken. Now, this is just my opinion. Psychological, emotional, and verbal abuse is just as damaging to our mental health as physical abuse. It damages our immune system. It lowers our immune system taking this abuse, whether we realize it or not, or whether we know it or not, because we're constantly in the fight or flight mode. We're constantly on edge, waiting for their next verbal assault. Our abusers, they get away with so much because it's hard to prove verbal abuse, emotional abuse, or psychological abuse. And sometimes we stay longer than we should, hoping that they will change. I think whether we can prove it or not, we should still keep reporting so it'll be on record. The emotional abuse, the verbal assault, the psychological abuse. So once we finally escape or try to escape, and if something is done to harm us physically, we have a record of all those reports of verbal assaults, psychological abuse, emotional abuse. Just because law enforcement doesn't swing into action to do anything to our abuser, I think we should still keep reporting. Just like we report physical abuse and they come out and take pictures of our bruising, such as in my situation. I reported the physical abuse. I had a broken finger. I had cuts and bruises on my body that law enforcement took pictures of before I went into hiding last year, August the 9th, 2024. My husband did a number on my body, but that was the first time I called and reported it because I was so hoping that he would change. And then after he broke my finger, I was in such pain, I asked him to take me to the hospital. He wouldn't even take me to the hospital, y'all. And this last beating, he was so comfortable with doing it. Normally after each beating, he would beg for my forgiveness. But he had got so comfortable, he didn't even beg for my forgiveness this time. I'm just making this video just to ask that we report it and get the hell away from these abusers if we can, if it's safe to do so. Get it on record. Because what if we never say anything and we get away and our abuser get with somebody else and they're not lucky to escape and they're unalived by our abuser? Because each time they abuse, it gets worse. It doesn't get any better. And maybe we'll be saving somebody's life if we report the psychological, the physical, the emotional, the verbal assaults, if we get it on record. And maybe that would show these abusers that we're not playing with them. Each time we do something, each time they do something to us, we will report. They can't continue to get away with this and keep hurting members of the community. This is unacceptable, what our abusers are doing to people, to the dogs, to the kids, to us, to family members. We need to start reporting. This is all I have for now. Refine Rose out. Bye for now.